Hey there, it's the Shooting Guy. Thanks again for stopping by for yet another episode of the Shooting Guy, and I do appreciate it. If you subscribed, thank you. It's because of people like you that keep me going. And you know, if you're just stopping by, thank you too. I appreciate it. You could have been anywhere, but you decided to stop by here. Consider subscribing, okay? Give me a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, leave some comments, become a part of the Shooting Guy compound and everything that we do around here. Last time we were together, we took a look at this knife. This is the Ontario SP8, and we did a review of it. Today, what I want to do is show you, because I promised you on that previous review how I got this edge on here, and I'd show you how we did that. So recently we took a little road trip, did a lot of fun stuff. We got more videos about that whole trip coming up really soon. But today I want to show you how we got this sharp edge. Stay tuned. Where are we at?
Darex Corporation's.
Darex Corporation. Yeah. We're going to go inside and take a look at something that I know you are going to just absolutely love. Award-winning sharpening. Hey there, it's the Shooting Guy, and I got
Shooting Kid.
That's right, and we are someplace really special today, and I'm just going to turn it over to our buddy Kyle, and he's going to tell us all about what he's up to here.
Hi everybody, welcome to Darex. Darex is based in Ashland, Oregon, and we are a fourth generation, family-owned business, and we are solely focused on sharpening solutions. So I'll walk you through our history here. We started in 1973, supplying cutting tool solutions to the industrial market. So whether you're using drill bits, end mills, we are the premier sharpening solution in the industrial market.
Now that's a drill bit. Hey, Shooting Kid, come over here. Take a look at this. Look at that. Stick your hand next to that thing. Give everybody a perspective of, look at that. That's a drill bit. That's not like something you'd be drilling in your garage, is it? No, probably not. That's cool.
So our industrial line, we took that same technology in the late 90s, and we realized that there was a consumer demand for drill bit sharpening. So we took the similar technology and we developed the Drill Doctor drill bit sharpener. What started as an idea has since sold nearly 4 million tools. It became a huge success with the professional users in the automotive channel with customers like Snap-on, and we also had big success with customers such as Sears in the do-it-yourself segment. So that's what netted a number of different products in drill sharpening depending on the level of user. If you're a home user building a deck, you need a sharp bit, we've got a solution for you, all the way up to a small machine shop or an automotive enthusiast.
So you know, the other day we were really wondering how in the heck were we going to get our straight knife sharpened, and one of our YouTube viewers turned us on to these guys, and that's what Kyle's going to talk about. How do we get a knife sharpened really well? So take it away, Kyle.
We've developed a knife sharpener that uses flexible abrasive belts. Much unlike the other sharpening solutions on the market, we learned that knife makers create a knife on a flexible abrasive belt. They're using industrial equipment that generally runs a 2" by 72" flexible belt. So we decided that if a knife is created that way, that it should be resharpened that way. And through extensive testing and great abrasive selection from Norton Abrasives, we were able to develop the Worksharp knife and tool sharpener in 2009. The system is based around sharpening guides, so you get a precise angle, which is something that most users struggle with. Maintaining that perfectly precise edge on a knife is a real challenge, whether you have a manual or a power method. So the sharpening guides are purpose-built, excuse me. They slide right on the machine, and that will set the blade at the proper angle to the belt every time. So you get a very consistent sharpening.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. So right there, what do we have, 25 degree?
That's correct.
I can't read the other thing from my position here. What's that?
That's a 65-degree sharpening guide for scissors. We didn't just want to deliver a knife sharpener, because what we learned was our customer, they have knives, they have camp tools, they have lawn and garden tools, they have scissors. So we didn't want to restrict ourselves to just a knife sharpener when the flexible belt technology lended itself so well to other sharpening solutions.
That's great.
Belt changes are very easy. Unlike your belt sander at home, we've created a very quick belt change system where the tensioner is locked out of the way, the belt is routed around the pulleys, and the tension is automatically set by the spring. And then this here is your tracking knob. We calibrate that before we ship the tool. Every machine is test sharpened to make sure it's functioning properly. But if you ever need to adjust the belt tracking, that red knob on the front makes a very quick and toolless way to maintain optimal belt position.
So what are your grits here on the various belts that you have?
We provide 3 different grit belts. The green is an 80 grit. This is our tool grinding belt. This is for your axes, your hatchets, your lawn and garden tools. This red belt is a 220 grit belt. That's intended to shape and sharpen a knife edge or repair any damage. And then we finish on a 6,000 grit belt, which hones or strops the cutting edge to give you that incredibly sharp shaving edge. So in just a 2-step process, it can take about 90 seconds for the first time a knife is introduced into the system. You can take a hopelessly dull knife and come out with a shaving sharp edge in about 90 seconds.
Wow, yeah, very cool. Now there's been a lot of talk about this guy here. I know we've seen that. What's up with that one?
When we launched the knife and tool sharpener in 2009, Ken Onion, the knife maker with Kershaw and Columbia River Knife and Tool, was bear hunting in Alaska, and by default was the sharpening guy. Someone brought one of our products and introduced it to Ken. He used it with great success and acclaim and contacted us to speak highly of the tool. That forged the relationship that started down the development path for what is now the Worksharp Knife and Tool Sharpener Ken Onion Edition, with the expanded features that many of our customers asked for, with the industrial design that is clearly Ken's good work.
So Kyle, why don't you tell us a little bit about the differences between the two and why one would want to purchase one over the other?
Sure. They both provide fast, easy, repeatable sharpening. The difference when you step up to the Ken Onion Edition is you get a variable speed, so you can low speed hone or high speed grind, so you can set the speed to the application at hand. It also has an adjustable angle guide, so you can set the angle for anywhere between 15 and 30 degrees in 1 degree increments.
Wow.
The other machine has fixed guides at 20 or 25. We also moved up to a larger belt surface. So we went to a 3/4 by 12 inch belt from Norton called Darex. And it's a patterned abrasive that you may see here. It has kind of a corduroy pattern to it. And it's essentially like having a number of bench stones grafted onto a flexible belt. So each one of those ribbings is essentially a sharpening stone. So as it wears, it continually exposes fresh abrasive, so they're incredibly long lasting and designed for industrial metal applications. If you buy a high-end kitchen faucet, chances are that surface finish was polished out using the Darex line.
So how long would something like this last? I mean, if I had to, if I had a knife I was sticking in there regularly, daily, because I use this thing a lot, how long would this thing last?
Our test lab average is 100 resharpenings. So what we do is we buy lots of knives, we send them through the sharpener and test the abrasive. So the out-of-box experience, the customer should expect more than 100 sharpenings before those belts need to be replaced. When they do become exhausted, they're readily available in the marketplace from any retailer that carries the product. And of course you can get them from us in any assortment you choose.
Kyle, we got that Ontario there that's been kind of beat up, and you're looking at it. What are you looking for when you're doing that?
What I'm looking at is, the better I can understand the blade before I begin sharpening, the better outcome I can create. So what I'm looking for are there nicks and chips down the cutting edge? You know, that's going to be an indicator of time I'm going to need to spend repairing that edge and getting that damage out. Another thing I look for is when I look straight down the edge, I'm looking for light reflection. An edge that reflects light is a dull edge. That's essentially a flat spot that will reflect light back at me. A perfectly keen edge will be near invisible to the naked eye because your two intersecting planes that have created that edge come to such a keen point that it reflects no light. Another thing I look for, looking down the blade, is thickness. So how thick is the blade will also give me an indicator of the time I'm going to need to spend sharpening it. A thin blade will sharpen very quickly. Your little Swiss Army pocket knife is generally one pass in the tool. A thicker work blade like this is going to take a number of strokes because of the material we need to remove to get that sharp edge exposed. So the better I understand the edge before my sharpening, the better outcome I can create, and I never want to spend any more time grinding on a blade than I have to. My goal is to remove the least amount of steel possible and create the fastest way to the sharpest edge.
So how is this edge? And be real brutally honest, because the guy that owns this knife needs to know. Has he abused this knife?
This knife has clearly been used. We've got clearly a lot of batoning happening here on the back. There's a lot of tree sap and wood. The black oxide has been clearly worn away. That said, it's been well respected. There's no chips, there's no nicks, which tells me that this has not been used maliciously, you know, to cut things you shouldn't be. Rocks, stones, steel pipe, many of those things that our blades often see. And this is a good working edge. There's different types of sharpness. The sharpness you want on this knife, you want it to be purpose-built to the knife. You don't need to shave your forearm and cut sushi with this knife. Your goal with a knife like this is an incredibly strong, robust, long-lasting edge. And that's the edge that's on here.
Did you hear that, JK? You did okay. It's all right. So we're going to give that Ontario a little sharpening here. And you're going to the Ken Onion because you can probably get a little stouter bevel. Is that right? What are you going to set it to?
Correct. What I'm going to do is I'm going to set that edge angle to 30 degrees.
Okay, there you go.
Because on a work knife like this, my goal is a robust edge. If I go too thin, it's not going to have the edge retention you want. So I'll start at a 30-degree angle. I've got an edge guide on the front, and what that allows me to do is support the blade during my sharpening. So on a long blade, when I draw through, it will help support the blade.
Oh, there you go.
And there's other times on a pocket knife with a thumb stud where you want full insertion into the belt, so you want that edge guide swung away so that you can get the blade all the way up and get the full length of the blade sharpened. But this knife will allow me access, so I will bring the edge guide down. And after a first pass, what I'll do is check my progress. What I'm looking for is my grind line. And I can see my grind line is a little up on the heel. So that tells me that this knife was sharpened at a wider angle than 30 degrees. So it's going to take a couple strokes to get down to the cutting edge and produce a burr on the other side. No need to worry about the spark you see. That's more about the steel. High carbon steels will shed a spark. The abrasive selection that we make is designed for industrial metal grinding, and they're incredibly cool, so we don't need to worry about any heat or damage to the edge.
Yeah, so you don't want to get a whole lot of heat, and these things aren't going to create a lot of heat because heat means you're changing the temper of that steel, is that right?
Correct, yeah. If you overheat the steel, you can anneal it, and then it changes the hardness. It will no longer maintain an edge.
Yeah.
And again, even when you're seeing those sparks, that blade's completely cool. You see that new bevel work?
Yeah.
Almost to the cutting edge.
Okay.
Even on the coarsest grit, I'm using 120. You see the surface finish on the bevel versus the surface finish on the bevel, bevel that I haven't worked yet.
Yeah. Now there's something I'm noticing too about, and I guess this is inherent to belt sharpening. This primary edge here is actually concave. It's not a flat.
That's correct.
I kind of noticed that in the reflection. It wasn't.
Yep. Yeah, we allow the belt to flex in the sharpening guide. So what that does is creates a convex edge. You know, this convex edge is what we're creating there.
Yeah.
Versus the flat grind shown above.
Right.
Our research shows that you get a stronger edge because you have more material behind the cutting edge. And you'll notice an improvement in the cutting experience because the convex edge is more apt to glide through material because you don't have the resistance of the shoulders. You know, you're not pushing a wedge through material, you're pushing this smooth radius. So you'll notice that a convex edge is more apt to just glide through material when you're cutting.
It's aerodynamic like.
Yes, exactly.
Wind can go by, material can go by a lot easier with something like that.
Yep, and we're thinning the edge, we're knocking those shoulders off as the belt wraps, you know, versus creating this hard transition. On a flat grind, the blade will continue to get thicker and thicker as you sharpen up the taper, whereas we continue to thin and maintain that edge all the way through the life of the blade.
So this one, that. This one, not so much.
Waiting for that burr to come up along the entire edge. I've got it here. You can even see it.
Yeah.
But not yet here, where this knife sees most of its life.
Now, what kind of pressure are you putting down on that belt? I mean,
what we've done is we've controlled the surface pressure within the depth of the guide. So what I recommend is what I call weight of the blade. Let the blade hover. You really only need a light touch. The guide sets the depth and the angle against the belt. With weight of the blade pressure, or pushing as hard as I can, I have no impact on surface pressure on that belt. So that's how we help maintain consistent sharpening as well as control heat.
Now, another thing I noticed too is when you're on this side, you're actually sharpening from the back of the knife to the edge. Then you switch to this side and you're actually taking from the edge to the back of the knife. Is there a reason for that? Or is there a plus or a minus to that? Is it really make any difference?
It really doesn't make a difference in the edge outcome. What we learned through extensive field testing is that it added an extra step for people to reverse the belt and be thinking about direction. And ease of use is real critical to us in our product development. For most users, it added a level of complexity and didn't create any additional outcome in sharpness. So we've stuck with a single direction belt and taken care of the engineering so that we maintain the same surface pressure and belt deflection side to side.
Got it. Look at all of that material you had to take off. If you had just sharpened your knife well in the beginning, it would have been all right. But now take a look at that. At least this was with the coarse grit. Got that edge started. Flip that baby over. Let's see that other side too. Same thing there. Look at that. It's like a brand new knife. It's getting there. It's getting there. So now we got a different belt on there. What do we got on?
Correct. This is a 65 micron Norax belt. It's equivalent to a P220 belt. So we started shaping the edge on a 120 and we moved to a 220. And you'll notice too, every time I go into the sharpening guide, I turn the machine off. That allows me to position the blade before I start sharpening. If you leave the machine running continuously, you'll start over grinding here and create an unintended recurve. So what we recommend is place the blade and then simultaneously power and pull. That'll maintain your factory profile. we're going to move up to a 22 micron belt, which is the equivalent of about a P1000. And I'll finish on a 4 micron belt, which is the equivalent of a P3000.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. So you can shave with it now. Or baton wood. So we started with the most coarse grit, and what was that grit?
120.
120, and then that actually took, maybe 20 minutes, 25 minutes, because the profile of this primary edge was kind of messed up, and we wanted to reprofile that and get something that we can actually sharpen. Then we moved to this one, which was what?
220.
And then this.
1000.
And then this.
And finish on 3000.
Oh, we're over here, 3000 over here. And actually, this, and this probably took about 5 minutes after we got that primary edge. So lesson here is take your time, be patient, and when a knife gets as dull as that was and as abused as that was, don't wait that long. Get that edge regularly honed down so it stays sharp longer and you don't have as much time to have to reprofile an edge like that. Wow. Now, why are you doing this on leather?
What I've found is there's what we call the snake oil technique of shaving or slicing paper.
We do that at the Shooting Guy. We slice paper all the time.
You can't hide behind cutting a piece of 1/4 inch thick tanned leather.
Yeah, okay.
So it takes a real sharp edge.
Oh yeah, look at that.
And you get a nice clean cut.
Very nice. Yeah, it's not tearing, it's not, you can't tear, it has to cut, right? Yeah.
That's a sharp edge.
That is very nice. So that's a testament to the work sharp. And we happen to use the Ken Onion version because we needed that angle. And let's see that arm one more time. Yeah, you got a little bit of razor rash on there. Oh my goodness, that's sharp. Well, Kyle, thank you so much for spending as much time as you did. You put a mean edge on that one blade. We didn't expect it to kind of go that way, but it works. The product really works, and I think my viewers really needed to hear this because I know a lot of them use some manual methods, which isn't bad, but from time to time you need some really good tool, and this is a good tool. Where can somebody get this?
The Worksharp line's readily available. Look for it wherever you're buying your hunting or fishing supplies, from Cabela's, Bass Pro Shops, and also your local tool store, Northern Tool, and always available online at Amazon or WorksharpTools.com.
Thanks, Kyle. Appreciate it a lot. We'll got that on camera. Anyway. Big shout out to Kyle Crawford and Darex Corporation. Thank you guys so much for spending so much time with us and showing us around the factory. We had a full factory tour and all that. What a wonderful time. So if you're a knife owner, go out and get yourself a Worksharp knife and tool sharpener. You're gonna absolutely love it. You can go to my website and you can order one up. And don't forget to give us a shout that you had a chance to watch this video. Give us some comments. And go to the Darex website and leave a message for Kyle. I'm sure he would love to hear from you guys. All right, that's all I got for you today. God bless you, God bless America, and may America bless God. I'm gonna go cut some stuff now. I'm kind of went blank here.